Hey there, YouTube, and welcome to Monday's edition of The Breakfast Club. I'm Got That Funk. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to talk a little bit about the potential for a brokered convention for the GOP nomination for the presidency this summer. The Republican National Convention is in Cleveland, Ohio, I believe in July. And for weeks now, there's been an overt campaign amongst the Republican grandees to do whatever it takes, to say whatever it takes, to stop Donald Trump from getting the nomination for the presidency. I think they calculate that a Donald Trump nomination would do too much damage to the party in terms of people running for congressional seats and Senate seats and governorships and so on. And I think they calculate a Trump presidency would not only be bad for the country, but would be even more disastrous for future Republican prospects in elections in the future. So they're pretty damn sure that they don't want Trump to get the nomination. And I saw a clip from Ted Cruz on the campaign trail from a couple of days ago where he insisted to a reporter that no matter what happens, Trump will not get the nomination for the Republican Party. Now that could of course just be campaign bluster from Cruz. It's not something he's, above doing. Or it could be just sort of insider information that, he knows that no matter what it takes, the Republican establishment will not allow Trump to get the nomination. So let's consider that for a minute. If Trump wins a simple majority of delegates going into the convention, our tradition has always been that that candidate would get the nomination as it's a formality, basically, the nominating process, because you've gone into the convention with the majority of the delegates pledged. Having said that, it's my understanding from school, and I could be wrong about this because I'm sort of going on 40 plus years of memory, but I'm pretty sure I remember when I was in the 6th grade we learned that the reason the delegate system exists in the first place is because when the Constitution was framed, there was concern that a lot of the population who could vote were either illiterate or poorly educated and couldn't necessarily be trusted with the power of the vote to make an informed and careful choice. And they might accidentally vote for someone who would turn out to be a tyrant. So isn't it the case that the delegate system exists in the first place to prevent a tyrant from being able to take over based on a popular vote? Isn't that what the delegate system is for? Isn't that why we don't have a direct democracy where you cast your vote and it goes straight to the candidate? Why does there have to be a delegate as an intermediary, if not for the specific purpose of giving the party itself some control over the nominating process? Isn't that why we have delegates? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm completely open to being wrong. Like I said, I'm going on 40 plus years of memory there. But if Donald Trump goes into the convention with a simple majority of delegates, as I say, our tradition has always been to give that person the nomination, but there's been a lot of people saying that Trump will never get the nomination no matter what. And that tends to make me suspicious that they'll try to steal the nomination away from him, whether or not he has a majority of delegates going into the convention. Now, it's entirely possible, because the Republican field has been so split for so much of the voting primary season, that he won't get 51% of the, or 50+% of the delegates pledged. And if he goes into the convention with a plurality, he has more delegates than everybody else has, but doesn't have a simple majority, there's definitely going to be a brokered convention in that instance, and nobody knows how that will turn out. Now, again, traditionally, the person with the greatest number of votes would be trying to do deals in the back rooms to get some of the delegates from, say, Rubio or Kasich or Christie or whoever else might have some delegates pledged to move over to Trump so that he can be pushed over the line. But we all know that's not what's going to be going on. There's going to be a strenuous effort to get Donald Trump pledged delegates to move over to other candidates. And I got a couple of problems with that. Number one, I think the Republican establishment is as scared of a Ted Cruz presidency as they are of a Donald Trump presidency. And for good reason. I mean, the economic advisor that he's picked recently, it's my understanding that he was one of the architects of what went wrong in 2008. When the economy almost crashed completely. So, there's reasons why, Ted Cruz is a a theocratic-minded politician as well, which disturbs a lot of people, myself included. So there's plenty of good reasons to fear a Trump presidency. There's plenty of good reasons to fear a Ted Cruz presidency. And I think the Republican establishment, if they could have their druthers, they'd druther have someone else. So that's why people like John Kasich, I think, have stayed in the race all this time, even though he's only won his home state of Ohio, sorry. That's the only state he's actually won outright, but he has picked up a few delegates here and there from other states where he's come in third or fourth place. And I think that Kasich will be definitely one of the people holding his hand up going, look, I'm over here, you can pick me, I'm a safe pair of hands. And it might be the case that the RNC decides to throw the dog a bone and see if they can wangle deals at the convention to get some of the delegates to move over to Kasich. There's been talk as well about Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, coming in at the last minute and being the beneficiary of a brokered convention. But I struggle to imagine how, since Paul Ryan has not been running for the presidency, how the RNC can look at the electorate with a straight face and give him the nomination by whatever means and pretend that they're reflecting the democratic will of the people. That's true almost no matter what happens if there's a brokered convention. If there's a brokered convention and Trump has like 42% of the delegates, but they manage to take the nomination away from him and get all the delegates, the other 58% of the delegates go someone else, there's going to be a huge backlash from Trump supporters and in the media generally, I think, basically saying that our democracy has been stolen, and they're going to do it right in front of our face. They might even do that if Trump does win a simple majority. There's going to be an awful lot of backroom deals being made at the convention this summer. None of us know how it's going to turn out. But I think the Republican establishment calculates that a Donald Trump candidacy, even if he doesn't win the presidency, would do too much damage to the Republican Party. The other people running for congressional seats and Senate seats and governorships and so on would be damaged by a Trump candidacy should he win the nomination. And I think they're equally scared that he might actually win the presidency if he was nominated. And they're calculating that stealing the nomination from him will do less damage over the long term than a Trump presidency will do to the Republican Party over the long term. So, what are you guys' thoughts about a brokered convention? Is it in the national interest to basically keep Trump out at any cost, even if it is depriving him of the delegates that he has earned via voting? What do you guys think? I look forward to any and all video responses or comments in the comments section, and I want to thank you for watching this video. Please hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, or if you didn't hate it. That would be good too. JJ Talks is here on The Breakfast Club for tomorrow's video. I look forward to seeing what she's got to talk about, and I look forward to any and all comments down below. Until next time, may the funk be with you always.